Your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Even if you've applied before, they may be eligible now. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
They had stamped millions of coins flat, regardless of denomination, until they were unrecognizable and therefore no longer legal tender. Removed and defaced as many notes as they could lay their hands on and tried to destroy all the postal stamps and stickers. People suggest the postal stamps and stickers were the big one. Mainly because so many letters got posted to foreign countries with my Royal Hohenzollern family all over them on the stamps. Coronations, birthdays every year, new babies being born, family historical days and anniversaries, the first royal wedding since 1793 in 1885. They then found a metal that could be melted down with the coins to make an alloy that would not flake or break easily. They melted it together with some of the defaced coins, then poured the molten alloy into molds and made keepsakes and trinkets out of them. Including prototypes of Einstein fake royal family coins, featuring lunatic Uncle Albert with his tongue sticking out, and things like that. In some cases the homemade prototypes of coins with him and his tongue on them were to scale to attempt to make the Uncle Albert coins look as much bigger as the real ones, as his penis was rumored to be compared to Kaiser Adolf's. There are large numbers of metal alloy poured objects worldwide that are partially made of defaced German coins destroyed as legal tender after WW2, made before Kaiser Adolf's escape in late 1959 in some cases. There were rumors of a 13-foot-tall Academy Award Oscar made to posthumously award to Isabel Williams for her impersonation of Kaiser Adolf's voice over much worse than usual audio quality radio, which lured millions to their deaths for the neo-Nazis between December 1943 and mid-1945. And her acting job after being made over to look like Kaiser Adolf before her death in that bunker in Berlin in 1945. She shot Janet Podolsky, Eva Braun, dead through the forehead with a pistol, then was shot dead herself after deciding to pretend to sexually penetrate the bullet wound to Janet's forehead, as if she had a penis, dressed up to look like Kaiser Adolf. She was screaming that Janet was a fucking bitch whore who needed to be taught a lesson and gyrating at the hips holding Janet's head in front of her unzipped fly when she was shot. Back to post-World War II. After doing the squishing to literally millions of coins, defacing them to the point they were no longer legal tender, the worldwide search began to slow down. Then they suddenly realized they could have spent them. Including on terrorism, organized crime, and their planned expanded mass genocide. Difficult choices needed to be made quickly afterwards. They started trying to use former coin metal alloy trinkets and keepsakes as currency in a bit of a panic. They were flatly rejected whenever they asked for people to take a blob of metal alloy set in a mold that had coins in it. Or when they sincerely offered flattened former coins with no discernible markings, squished like a mini side plate and split around the central smooth bit. Sincerely stating it was really a coin, as if the metal should be worth a bottle of milk and the proprietor should just take it and hand one over. As if oblivious to the fact that coins ceased to be worth the face value in precious metals quite some time beforehand. It cost the European economy massive amounts of money. The ironic part about coins is that if they are made of a pure precious metal worth the face value at the time of production, they are too easy to counterfeit. Special secret recipe alloys are much more difficult to fake. People whose ancestors were responsible for doing that to coins that could have been spent, particularly those who ended up with alloy keepsakes with former currency in them, are pretending I owe them the equivalent of the lost coins, specifically owed to each family that still has a keepsake alloy blob whose ancestors destroyed them. It doesn't matter how often I point out that my entire royal family net worth has never been a legal tender in coins and notes in a pile somewhere, they still pretend defacing my Hohenzollern royal family off all the legal tender notes, coins and stamps they could find somehow destroyed my royal family asset base completely with them. I mean, Kaiser Adolf may have had a few coins and notes on him when he was abducted, but apart from that, there was no private Hohenzollern royal family currency and stamps, mega Fort Knox, or anything. If that doesn't work, then they falsely argue it removed visual and outward references to my royal family existing and they should receive a fee for the defacing and destruction, and my Hohenzollern assets should be given away to the organized crime involved in some type of lottery. All some of them do 24/7 is fantasize about getting an imposter on a German coin pretending to be a member of my Hohenzollern constitutional monarchy of Germany, labeled as if they really are, even though they aren't, and the coin be actual legal tender. They pretend to pose for coins portraits all day, every day, Zoolander style, as if daily life. Then try to torture people into looking at them, gasping, and pretending they would be perfect to pretend to be a royal on a coin or note, even though they aren't in my royal family. The most pathetic ones moan and wail and say just one ineligible imposter with a fake royal title. That is why actual coins seem very rare, but not as rare as authentic copies of a book I own the copyright to called Mein Kampf. Obviously, there was an attempt spearheaded by Lunatic Einstein to destroy all authentic paper texts with references to my royal Hohenzollern family in them, usually by fire, and replace them with an adulterated and fictionalized version, with no references to my royal family in them. The entire book was originally about my royal Hohenzollern family, written by the head of it. They usually tried to pass them off as destruction of religious materials of a particular religion, if you know what I mean. Then the inevitable, what are we going to do? We can't use the squished blobs and poured alloy keepsakes at the shops. The shopkeep won't take this novelty oversized beer coaster-sized alloy blob with a bad relief of Einstein with his tongue sticking out as payment for. What are we going to do? When people started showing up to the shops with the equivalent of non-royal themed pennies or 1-cent pieces wearing a deceased German civilian's clothing to humbly count out 459 low-denomination stolen coins, one at a time, at the counter in exchange for milk, bread, sliced meat and a fake newspaper every day. The hastily themed temporary solution. Dis-Unification. If Germany split into multiple countries, someone could use it as an excuse to mint fresh currency or get foreign into use. They may even get the pre-planned pictures of the fake royals on them. At least it could be used as ransom until Kaiser Adolf showed up and Albert Einstein's nephew or niece, that didn't exist, became fake Kaiser. Reunification held as ransom in exchange for the inbred brat getting to pretend to be Kaiser, yes please. And Soviet currency would be good. Hey. That Stalin Djugashvili guy's mother was the last monarch of Russia who was murdered when Einstein failed to steal the Romanov royal family with abductions, torture, murder and imposters during World War I. Oh. Let's get Stalin involved, Albert would love it. Some of them were hamming it up so badly during Dis-Unification in 1949, pretending to be still waiting for the inbred extortion plot brat and its mother Sadie to arrive in Berlin with an armed entourage dragging Kaiser Adolf with them, that when Germany deunified they tried to make the map of the new West and East Germany look like Sadie Einstein holding and breastfeeding her inbred extortion plot baby. Including as if Kaiser Adolf was seeing it breastfed through the buzz every day. Even though it died in April 1944, 3 months after it was conceived. My quadriplegic grandfather Ioseb, Stalin, Djugashvili, was still premier of the Soviet Union and general secretary of the Communist Party there. After they had moved on from basic Dis-Unification, with real currency to use at the shops, they started trying to steal his identity too when something workable was in place in East Germany. Einstein had failed to steal the Romanov estate with mainly Greek imposters off his mother after all. The imposter who pretended to be Nicholas Hohenzollern too, the monarch's husband, was part Indian and Dutch, Netherlands apparently. That is why they started to pretend he was monarch and my great-grandmother was just his wife. They claimed they disagreed on cultural ignorance grounds with the female still being the monarch after the wedding. Ioseb Stalin was erroneously announced as dead when they tried to kill him and replace him with an able-bodied imposter who could walk fine. The imposter dropped dead from a standing giggling position in one of my grandfather's offices in 1953 attempting to rifle through his personal papers. Surprise, surprise, surprise.